that time of the day, I'm looking over there seeing what's going on in the world. What is going on? And I'm trying to, I know it takes a little while to get these streams going. A little while to get people logged in. So I want to give a little bit of a lead in to let people get in and get started. Eric is here this morning. Good to see you, Eric. Bright and early. I think you're going to get the participation trophy, the participation star, the always on time guy, always here, right as we start. I gotta agree, it looks pretty nice out. Good day to be a lottery winner, I think. Be out on a boat, I don't know, somewhere where it's warm or something. It is a nice day though. Beautiful day. Had to pull the curtains back because we're getting all kinds of crazy light in here. And once you get light in, you get weirdness on the, yeah, you guys know it's green screen back there. That's not really, I'm not really floating above the earth. That's just a green screen. But it was good to see you, Eric. Nice to see you. Hopefully you got that email this morning. Sent you the code to get in. I want to talk to you a little bit today. I'll probably send you an email a little bit later about the course, the RMF course. Just general information about some stuff I'd like you to do if you have time. If you got the time to do it while you're auditing the course, that would be awesome. But it is, Eric, I agree. Beautiful day out there. Beautiful day out there. Last night, you see this right here, the big tumbler, the big tankard flask. I don't know what we're going to call that thing. Have the folks that make some of our swag. We're trying some different things. Actually, Dee was behind it. She was making different stuff. So this is kind of cool. There's only one of them. We made one of them to see how it looked, how it feels, how it works. This is a 42 ounce. I don't know what they call this thing. Rove double wall, just a vacuum insulated double wall cooler kind of thing. It's kind of cool though. It's got the screw top, like pory thing. So you know, a lot of times I use that gigantic red coffee cup to fill my coffee up while I'm down here in the morning. This might be the deal. It says it keeps stuff hot for 8 hours, cold for 24 hours. I don't know. We're gonna try it out, see if it's worth getting some more of these things, and maybe give these out as prizes. Put them out on the swag page as well in case people want to buy them. It's kind of cool. We do have the regular red logo. Remember, everyone deployed in the Cyber-Recon on the back. I'm gonna test this thing out, see if it's worth getting some more of them. It looks, it's pretty daggone cool the way it works. I don't know. We'll put them out there. The swag stuff is on, as you know, cyber-recon.com /swag, SWAG. And if we decide to go with these, we'll put these out there. We got some other stuff that came in that we're trying out, see what it looks like, see how it is, see if it's anything you guys may want. Obviously, we have the RMFer shirts and the Red Friday shirts are out there. Yeah, I had a restaurant out in, went out to Casper, Wyoming. There's a restaurant out there now that's wearing some of our Red Friday shirts. They wear Red Friday shirts every Friday. And now they're one of our, some of the staff's out there wearing Cyber-Recon Red Friday shirts. So, got my Illy coffee and a Virginia cup. What a way, like Eric said, what a beautiful day. Alex, good morning, sir. It's good to see you today. Digging in, Alex, Alex reminds me of all this stuff we want to do. We want to get on the calendar that we want to do. I was digging into, and I downloaded, and of course, I'm an older guy. I got to print stuff out sometimes. It's a lot of stuff. I printed out the 137, the NIST Special Publication 137, the alpha that just came out, the draft, and that NIST ITSR, how the whole continuous monitoring piece, how NIST has got their vision for it, and how they're revamping that, recharging it. So I've got all that stuff downloaded, printed out, and I'm going to start going through that. I think that'd be good for the conversation on Thursday. We start talking about the advanced RMF class. Yes. Awesome, Eric. You were able to get in, get registered. Awesome. How was the registration process? Hopefully pretty painless, I hope. That's kind of the what for on Tuesday morning. What do you guys got going on today? Got good things going on? We got some stuff going on. Black tea malware is out. It's going to be identified, the black tea malware. This job's crypto mining. Crypto mining malware. Where to look out for it, why to look out for it, what to look for. DoD and DHS are teamed up again. One of my favorite organizations, my least favorite name, CISA, is out there doing some, bringing us new malware, stuff to look out for, and this one must be particularly bad because they put a special warning on it. And then our third story, our last story of the day, 3 stories today, kind of quiet day on a Tuesday, which is strange. Payment card industry. Verizon is talking about the payment card industry, how PCI compliance has plummeted. They didn't say plummeted, I did. They say it's fallen. 27.5%. Fewer people have full PCI compliance. That's an important thing, but I want to drag you guys in. If you have not had the privilege in your life of talking about PCI DSS, the PCI compliance, I want to talk to you about the controls and how they're going to look familiar to you. So we'll talk about PCI DSS controls and how that can be implemented in your organization, whether or not you take credit cards. Let's call them credit cards. Morning, Paul. Good to see you. Always good to see Paul in the morning. He's got a ton of stuff going. Gets up at like 2 in the morning. I don't know. That guy's got the Energizer Bunny, I guess, going. Whoop, way too early for me. I dragged myself out in time to come down here, get some coffee going, make sure that we got a review of the news, try to find it all, try to dig under every corner I can of the internet, trying to find the cyber news stories of the day. You want politics, you have to go somewhere else. We try to stay neutral here, which I guess is not, it's not the fashion of the day to stay neutral. You got to pick one side or the other. I don't try to do that. Try to pick the side of security is where I want to find myself, on the side of security. So that's what's going on here. We're rolling like crazy. Mako and Emily, you know, they're newer. They're not brand new, but they're newer to security. They're taking their beta Cloud Plus today, thanks to Mike Bravo. He turned us on to the beta course. I think today is the last day to take the beta exam. So I took it a couple weeks ago, last week or the week before. A lot of stuff on there, a lot of networking stuff that you wouldn't expect on a cloud certification, but it was there. Some of the stuff you'd expect on cloud certifications, but a lot of the networking stuff, VLANing and stuff like that, I wasn't really expecting, but it was there. Firewall configurations, that kind of stuff. So we'll see how they do. They're newer out. I'm going to tell you guys this too. When you go in to take these exams, don't stress over them, man. I know they're money. I know they're sometimes a lot of money. But when you stress, you get yourself all worked up. And I was trying to tell these guys, don't do it. Don't get all stressed out. Just go in there and do your best. Don't worry about it. It's hard to do, I know. It's hard to do, but it's just a test, man. Just a quiz, and that's when you get wrapped up. When you get all wrapped up in that, worried about it, that's what causes a lot of the problem. Ferris, I don't know. Ferris, are you new to the channel? You may be new, or maybe I haven't seen you in a while. Good morning. Definitely good morning, Ferris. So that's what we got going on today. It's going to be an interesting day for them. I'm interested to see their thoughts of the Cloud Plus certification exam after they take it. It's the beta. Remember, this is the version 3 beta. So they're going into this thing. You know, they studied the version 2 documentation. There's absolutely no documentation on version 3. no idea what the domains are, no idea what they're going to be taking. You know, so it's a different world. Doing betas, I think. It's my first time. Like I said, this is my first time doing a beta. This is my first beta exam. I never really did them before. It's kind of a different experience. It's almost worthwhile doing them just to get ahead of the curve, see what they're going to be, what's going to be on these. So I'll be excited when it actually goes live and they actually put the preparatory material out to see how that aligns with what I was thinking based on taking the certification. So anyhow, we got 3 stories to talk about. We've got our water cooler talk of the day. Small town, Gonzales, Texas. We're talking about that. That's linked to our holiday of the day, a strange holiday of the day. So let's throw the intro in. We will be right back. We'll get going after this, the intro. There we go. There we go. We're still, if you guys are, hopefully it's not bugging you too much, we're still messing around with the monetization. We're figuring out how that works. YouTube's not so good about telling you how these things work, so if it's really, really bugging you guys, let me know. We got to figure out how to use this the best way. Make things work right across the board. Crypto mining. Cryptocurrency is still a big wave. It's still a big thing, right? If we'd all been smart, we'd all bought $1,000 worth of Bitcoin when it came out and just been on that yacht somewhere when it hit its high. It's still pretty high, still up there quite a bit. So creating cryptocurrency needs processing power. And a lot of people do it the legitimate way. They buy crypto mining gear, they buy big computers, or they get, a lot of the newer crypto miners are going out to cloud storage and they're getting cloud resources and they're crypto mining in the cloud. So like at AWS. Or they build their crypto mining rig locally, and that's what they use. Bad guy, and we know it always comes back to generally the same thing. It always comes back to getting information for one reason or another. Normally that's state-sponsored stuff. Or the other side of malware, other side of the bad guy, is just getting money. Just plain old money. Money is the root of it, right? They're trying to get the cash, get the dollars, get the sawbucks, right? So that's like cryptojacking or malicious crypto mining. People take over your network, people take over your computers, and they use your resources for crypto mining. And that's what this one's about. This is a new Cryptojacker. It's called Black T Malware. It emerges from the Cryptojacker group, TeamTNT. And as you guys know, TNT is dynamite. So cryptojacking malware variant builds on TeamTNT group's typical approach with a few new sophisticated extras. This is an article by ThreatPost, of course, in your show notes if you want to read along or look at it later. We'll talk about it this morning, so you might not even have to. Researchers have discovered the latest cryptojacking malware gambit from TeamTNT called Black T. So the variant builds on the team's typical approach with a few new and sophisticated extras. So these guys, they're like gangs, right? They're like gangs. We talk about a lot of the ransomware organizations are structured like an actual organization, like a corporation. These cryptojackers, these guys that are doing malicious crypto mining, are a little bit different. They're like street gangs almost, and they fight over computer turf, right? Turf. So we see them fighting over the same resources because they're trying to get as many computers as they can, because that's the whole key is in crypto mining, you need as many resources as you can. So they try to get as much real estate in the cyber world as they can. And if somebody else is there, they try to kick them out, and they try to keep other people from coming in. So they're trying to get, cyber turf. And that's what these guys are doing. So TeamTNT is known for targeting Amazon Web Services, or AWS, credentials to break into the cloud and use it to mine Monero cryptocurrency. But according to Palo Alto Networks Unit 42, got a ton of advertisement from those guys, with Black T, the group has added in additional capabilities to its tactics, techniques, and procedures, TTPs. I always like it when military terms bleed over into the normal public. These include the addition of sophisticated network scanners, the targeting of the competitor XMR mining tools, and the use of password scrapers. Password scrapers is weird. That's a different thing there. They're now scraping passwords, which may lead to the indication they're doing something else just besides crypto mining. What TeamTNT plans to do with the saved passwords and additional capabilities is still unclear, but the development signals that the group doesn't plan to slow down anytime soon. They're going to keep on rolling. Their big thing is making cryptocurrency, using these resources to make cryptocurrency. In August, TeamTNT was identified by researchers as the first cryptojacking group to specifically target AWS with increasingly sophisticated TTPs. The cybercriminal gang appears to be gaining steady momentum. Just last month, TeamTNT was discovered to have been leveraging common open source cloud monitoring tools called WeaveScope to infiltrate the cloud and execute commands without breaching the server. Interesting. So this is a jump forward in their sophistication, the article says. Yeah. So here's how it works. Once it gets onto these cloud servers, once it gets onto the cloud, once deployed, its first order of business is to disable any other malware competing for processor power. And it's got a list of, different miners that it's looking for. So it goes on. The first thing it gets on is it does what security people should be doing, and it looks to see if the computer's already infected with another miner. Obviously something security people, we should be doing all the time is looking for these miners on our systems. Ironically, the fact that TeamTNT identified these competitors in their malware gives security professionals a critical heads up to be on the lookout for potential threats from these groups. These guys, this is Nathaniel Quist, who's a senior threat researcher for Unit 42, says the battle for how about some coffee? The joys of being live. The battle for cloud resources will continue well into the future. In the past, attacker groups like Rocky and Pacha would battle for resources. TeamTNT is battling with Kingsing, Malware, and Cruxworm today. I believe this is a battle for resource that will increase, and attacker groups will look for other opportunities to use cloud resources. We can see now with TeamTNT collecting passwords and AWS credentials an attempt to expand and maintain cloud persistence. TeamTNT is investing, he's going on here, Quist keeps going on. TeamTNT is investing more resources into scanning operations and will, with the intent to identify and compromise more cloud systems. ZMAP is a node open source scanning solution, and with the creation of zgrab and Golang, the Go language written for ZMAP, is an attempt to capitalize on the added benefits of the Go programming language, such as speed and performance increases. It is likely that TeamTNT actors attempting to refine their scanning capabilities and make them faster, more accurate, and less resource intensive. Man. Yeah. little more from Quist. The inclusion of memory password scraping tools should be considered an evolution of tactics. TeamTNT has already integrated the collection and exfiltration of AWS credentials from the compromised cloud systems, which provides post-exploitation capabilities by adding memory password scraping capabilities. TeamTNT actors are increasing their chances of gaining persistence within cloud environments. Use of worms like MassScan or PNScan by TeamTNT isn't new, but Unit 42 noticed Black T adds new scanning port. Researchers wonder whether the Signals group has figured out how to target Android devices as well. Yeah. The article closes out, as remote workers and cost savings continue to drive computing to the cloud, more groups like TeamTNT are sure to emerge, ready to take advantage. According to Quist, admins should take steps to ensure their Docker and daemon APIs, as well as other sensitive networks services, aren't exposed, so that cloud can be protected from the next evolution of cryptojackers. Yeah, so Docker, we talked about Docker last week. We talked about Docker. It's the next level of virtualization, where we can virtualize just the container and put an application in that container. It provides protection from the security side. We're saying it puts it in kind of a little sandbox. So the application runs within a little environment. We don't need a full-on Linux stack. A lot of people are, to the detriment of some people. Some people build Docker, and then inside a Docker container, they build a whole virtual machine, which is possible. Inside a Docker container, you can build the whole Linux machine, like a virtual machine, and then put your application on top of it. I don't see the advantage of that. I say put your application in the container, have it ride on top of a Docker that's running on top of Linux. And then if you ever, so first of all, the first thing is you have protection. It keeps that application a little more walled off from everything else. Micro segmentation is what they like to call it. The other thing is, if you're tired of using, especially in cloud, maybe we're tired of using Amazon, we can just take those containers and move them to somewhere else. We don't necessarily worry about the underlying infrastructure. So that's a good thing about Docker. The bad thing about Docker, a month ago we talked about some of these Docker exploits. If we expose them too much to the internet, to the ability for people to get to them, people can touch them and put their grubby hands on them. They can do bad things to them. Daemon APIs, or application programming interfaces, are another thing. If we expose our APIs, we don't secure our APIs, that's another way people can get in. And obviously, when we talk about ransomware, we always talk about the big three things. And we talk about RDP, remote desktop procedure or protocol, that's open on the internet. We talk about unpatched VPN connections, unpatched applications in general, and then the end user, not training our end user. That was the big thing. So in this, we kind of see the same things. I mean, don't have stuff exposed to the internet. Don't have stuff exposed to unsecure networks, right? So it may not even be the internet. Maybe a competitor's, or not competitors, a third-party network. We probably wouldn't be connecting our network to a competitor's network. Sometimes maybe. So we connect to a third-party network. We want to have the same thing. Don't expose all these interfaces to networks that you don't control, right? I'm gonna fall back on my RMF that I always talk about. Always talk about RMF. I think RMF is one of the best things to come out of NIST, and a lot of people don't agree with me, but you got to do it the right way. It's not just a paperwork drill. In the RMF, we talk about a system, and we talk about all the systems that connect to that system, and we make sure all those connections are secure. So the first part of the exercise is who has ability to connect to the system we're talking about. We build that authorization boundary, that box that the system lives in, and then we say, where are all those connections in and out? And then of those connections in and out, are they secure? And that's what we're talking about here. We've got APIs, we've got Docker containers, we've got maybe VPNs, we've got RDP. Are all those things secure in our environment? In this case, we're talking about AWS. The move to the cloud continues. We steadily march to the cloud. Organizations continue to march to the cloud, and there's a bunch of business-based decisions. But as security people, we have to look at it differently. There's different things in the cloud. They're the same, but they're different, right? They're the same, but they're different. We have logs in the cloud. We have firewall type things in the cloud. We have network protections in the cloud. It's all just a bit different. What we don't want to do is we don't want to pay for a bunch of cloud resources and have someone like these guys using our resources up, charging us money to mine Bitcoin or to mine cryptocurrency. I always say Bitcoin, but it could be any type of cryptocurrency. A lot of these guys, a lot of these malicious folks, they're not mining Bitcoin. They're doing this Monero, right? Yeah, Monero cryptocurrency. And I don't know, there may be a reason. Maybe that's easier to move around in the illicit circles, but it's usually Monero that they're mining. It's not usually Bitcoin that they're mining. Most of the graphics I find have Bitcoin on them, so we have to create our own. So that's number one on the list. What do you guys think about crypto? This cryptojacking. I'm going to call it cryptojacking instead of just crypto mining because it's the malicious type of attack. You know, a lot of people don't even realize what's going on. Post-exploitation, you know, the folks exploit your network and they don't take anything. They don't take data. They don't take anything out. They just build their infrastructure on your infrastructure. And they start mining. That's theft of resources too. A lot of people don't think of it as badly as if the bad guy came in and took a bunch of data, or they locked up your servers with ransomware. They don't put cryptojacking in that same bucket. It's theft of resources. Someone is paying for those resources, whether that's cloud resources in AWS that these guys are attacking, or it's your server room. So patch your systems, right? Train your end users. You got to keep, in things like this, you got to keep the bad guy from getting on the system to start with. And this thing's like other attack vectors. Once they're getting on to the network, they're using these scanners to look for other machines to compromise. That's what that pivot. You know, we used to see that a lot in penetration testing. Penetration tester would get in, you know, and this hackers would do the same thing. They get in, they land on a box, they can exploit. Maybe they can't get to the target they want, so they exploit an easier target, an easier system to get onto, and then they start pivoting. They start moving around your network to get to where they want to get to. So maybe they start with a less protected system, and they use associations between that and another system to move around. And that's what we don't want. Think about that when we're building systems. When we're building systems, say, hey, this system is lower impact, lower risk than this other system. Is there a way to get from A to B between those systems? That's what these guys love to take advantage of that stuff. They really, really do. Oh, DoD and CISA in the news. Talking about our number 2 story today. SLOTHFULMEDIA malware. DoD, DHS warn of attack involving SLOTHFULMEDIA malware. So this is the U.S. Department of Defense's Cyber National Mission Force, CNMF, and the Department of Homeland Security's Critical Infrastructure and Security Agencies, CISA, last week published a malware analysis report that described a new malware named SLOTHFULMEDIA. It's a dropper tool, 2-stage dropper. So somehow they're going to get you, a lot of times they'll get you to go somewhere to a website or something where they can drop a file onto your system. Might be malware, might be phishing, might be like a water hole attack, where you're going to a website that's been compromised, and they can drop this file on your computer. That's why it's called dropper. They drop the file on there, and it's a 2-stage dropper. So stage 1, once it gets on your system, it's going to download a RAT, or a remote access tool, and the remote access tool is going to achieve persistence on the target computer. And then the part 2 of the dropper is the part that actually takes the dropper off your system and just leaves the RAT behind. So it's 2-stage. Drops the dropper, pulls the RAT down, and then cleans itself off and just leaves the remote access tool on your computer. And we know there's remote access tools that are for good. System admins use them all the time. Help desk use them all the time to connect remotely to your computer and fix your printer or whatever. That's not what these guys are doing, though. No. This rat's capable of running arbitrary commands, terminating processes, taking screenshots, modifying the registry, and making changes to files. So it's modifying registry. We know it's got to be a Windows machine we're talking about. We're modifying the registry. So U.S. government malware analysis report includes the technical details of how the malware works, indicators of compromise, and recommendations for securing systems against such threats. So you can go get the IOC. You can load it into your threat detection and threat protection system. You can load that IOC in there and keep an eye out for this thing. What I thought in this article jumped out at me. I've read, we've been reading these articles for 10 months now. We've been doing Cup of Cyber. It's modified a little bit as we went along, but it's always been at the root talking about the cyber news of the day. It's kind of become what it is today over the last almost year. This is the first time I've really seen something like this coming out of these folks. It says, these guys say from the agencies, from CISA and from DoD, users or administrators should flag activity associated with malware and report the activities to CISA or the FBI Cyber Watch, and give the activity the highest priority for enhanced mitigation. It kind of jumped out. These guys seems like they're kind of worried about this one. It kind of doesn't go into a ton of detail about the rat, other than kind of what I've already said. It's not uncommon for these types of malware analysis reports to be made public by the U.S. agencies, to include information about the threat actor to believe behind them, including if it's a nation-state actor. However, the report of Slothful Media doesn't provide any information on the possible origin of the attackers. CISA and CNMF say the malware has been used in attacks launched by sophisticated threat actors against entities in India, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Malaysia, Russia, and Ukraine, which is a weird mixed bag of targets. Yeah, so it's a lot of kind of, I don't know, weird set. Sample of the malware was also made available to VirusTotal by Cyber Command, which regularly posts samples of malware linked to foreign actors. A majority of the samples shared by U.S. Cybercom have been linked to North Korea. Some have been attributed to Russia and Iran, but this summer it also started sharing Chinese samples. They're not talking about this particular malware. They're just talking in general. Cybercom's given samples to VirusTotal. ESET last week published a report on XD Spy, previously unknown threat actor that's been active for at least 9 years and also targeted Russia and Ukraine, as well as Belarus, Moldova, and Russia, which is Russia twice there. The group has mainly targeted government organizations, and its main goal appears to be theft of sensitive documents, which probably indicates they're state-sponsored. It's an article by Security Week. So Security Week asked ESET if they found any links between XD Spy and Slothful Media, given the timing of the reports and the fact that both target Russia and Ukraine. And they target some other places too, which makes it weird. However, the cybersecurity firm says Slothful Media is actually related to PowerPool, a threat actor whose activities were detailed by the company back in 2018, was spotted exploiting a Windows 0-day vulnerability. So, Slothful Media. I would say if you're going to work today, you're going out, I would talk to your security operations folks, unless maybe you are the security operations folks. Make sure you have this IOC loaded into your IDS, IPS, threat monitoring tool of whatever sort you're using. Make sure you're looking for this thing. It's a remote access tool. It's got a dropper, 2-stage dropper. So obviously the ways we try to protect for this, make sure you're going to known good sites. Make sure you're not, your phishing protection is up. Train your end users. If you go somewhere where the bad guy in this case has the ability to drop that dropper onto a system, there's a chance of compromise. And we don't know, again, a lot of details missing in this article, what type of attack it uses, other than it's a 2-stage dropper. We don't know much more than that. So our common defenses, our security hygiene is important. Train the end user, right? Don't go to I don't want to say malicious, but definitely don't go to malicious sites. Don't go to sketchy sites. You know, I know some of the malware protection will put a kind of a web filter in place. It will say, hey, this site, this is a good to go site. The site, we trust this site. This site's not so trustworthy. Maybe you do something like that. Maybe you have that running in your environment. I don't know if you do or not. I've seen it. Tell people not to go to those kind of sketchy sites. Sometimes the water hole attack. Sometimes the bad guy attacks an actual good website, a site that you probably use a lot. And if they can attack that and get on there and put their dropper on a website like that, it's kind of hard to defend against. So you have to have your full cyber hygiene, defense in depth, diversity of defense, have malware protection up and running, have your IDS and IPS up and going, your threat monitoring tools with this indicator of compromise. Be looking for it so once it gets dropped on your network, you'll at least know there you can start cleaning it up. It's going to be a rat. It's a, you dirty rat, you infected my computer. Yeah, so keep an eye out for it. Good job, Citizen DoD. I'm kind of, I'm the highest priority for enhanced mitigation. Makes me think something's up with this thing. Makes me think that something's going on. Yeah, keep an eye out. Keep an eye out. And last is a short article. You can grab this one in the show notes, of course. This is by ZDNet. ZDNet. Payment card security remains lax, says Verizon Business report. It's funny they didn't include. I didn't see it. Yeah, there's not a link to the business report, which is funny. Usually they link to the business report. Verizon Business 2020 Payment Security Report highlights PCI DSS compliance down 27.5% from 2016. So about 4 years ago, we're down about a quarter. Payment card security is getting weaker as 27.9% of global organizations were in full compliance with the payment card industry data security standard, or what we like to call PCI DSS, according to Verizon. That means that 70% of, and I'm going to make an assumption here, 70% of those folks that are processing payment cards are not in compliance with PCI DSS, 72%. That's pretty scary when you think about it. I remember when I was working with a pharmaceutical, we did mail order pharmacy stuff. PCI was big. We had to ensure we were maintaining PCI compliance. That was a big deal. Now they're saying 27.9% are in full compliance with payment card industry standard, PCI DSS. How many are just like a little bit off, and how many are way off? I don't know. I don't have the report. I'm going to have to hunt down the report. Verizon 2020 payment card reports highlights PCI DSS compliance is down 27.5% from 2016. And full PCI DSS compliance meets these 12 requirements. And obviously, as we know with NIST, there's controls, and if you look at one control like AC2, there's a ton of pieces underneath it, right? There can be a ton of things, or you could be like AT2, which isn't very big. So it depends on the controls. So we're going to read through these 12 things. I thought that was important to talk about these 12 things. I grabbed the article to grab these 12 things. These are the 12 things you need to do to be PCI DSS compliant. Protect your system with firewalls. And obviously there's a bunch of different requirements under that. Configure passwords and settings. Protect stored cardholder data. Encrypt transmission of cardholder data across open public networks. Makes sense, right? Use and regularly update antivirus software. Regularly update and patch systems. Restrict access to cardholder data to business need to know. And I will put a caveat on that. Restrict access to sensitive data. We can use these controls anywhere. Use unique ID to each person with computer access. Yeah, no shared accounts. Restrict physical access to workspaces and cardholder data. Or in another environment, you can say, restrict physical access to workspace and sensitive data. Implement logging and log management. Conduct vulnerability scans and penetration tests. Document and risk assessments. Documentation and risk assessment. That's the 12 things you need to do for PCI compliance. Now, obviously, each one of them has a little more information. I remember PCI first came out and said, protect your system with firewalls was there. That was a requirement early on. And what people would do is they would just put a firewall in and they wouldn't put very good rules in it. So obviously, as this matured, they had to go in to protect your system with firewalls, and they had to define some sub requirements under that. Deny all, allow by exception, right? Those kind of things they put in there. So you look at these 12 things, and they've obviously got a little bit more meat behind them when you actually go look at the standard. But it's 12 things. It's like these are 12 things that should be on the top of your list, even if you're not doing PCI, even if you're not taking payment cards. These should be 12 things that you can go to work and you can say, I'm doing these things at work, or we're doing these things at work, and I can point to them how we're doing them. It wouldn't be crazy to say small businesses and home offices should be able to point to the same thing, right? I mean, protect your data, have passwords, have a firewall, have a log and log management. I think if you've got a small office, a home office, small business, you should have logs going somewhere to a log management system. Even if it's an old computer that somebody sets up and sends the logs to. Send them off to cloud, send them off to a Google Drive. Have your logs somewhere else so you can go back and see if something happened. I think these are 12 rules that 12 just general security rules. The only thing I would, add to this is you take like the SANS top 20 or CIS top 20 now. Take those two, know what equipment you have and know what software you have. I'd say know your assets and put that as in here in the list too. And I think you're pretty good to go. These would be a good solid place to start. Know your hardware, know your software, and then these 12 things. I think if you're just coming into an organization, this should be your initial checklist. Can I do these 12 things? Can I point to how we're doing these 12 things? Yeah. It's funny it's going down. Compliance is down. According to Verizon, companies are struggling to retain qualified chief information security officers and lacking long-term planning. Key among the report are 51.9% successfully test security systems and processes, as well as unmonitored system access. 2/3 of all businesses track and monitor access to business-critical systems. 70.6% of financial institutions maintain essential perimeter security controls. And then if you look at the article from ZDNet, they've got some trends, from each year. I like that. It's nice that I'm assuming, making an assumption, that the requirements 1 through 12 listed on the side here, they're just like R1 through R12. I'm assuming that those are, in order 1 to 12 above in the list. And it shows which one, which ones have gone up and gone down. Now let's see here. What is the biggest drop been? 15, 17, 46. I think that's the lowest one. Looks like 46.9% of organizations configure passwords and settings. Wow, that's rough, guys. That's rough. Worth checking it out. I'll see if I can't find the actual report and throw that in post-show for y'all, because it's not usually it's in the article, but it's not in this one. We'll see if we can't find it. But that's your rundown news of the day. What you should know when you're going out to fight the cyber fight. Do the good things for cyber. I'm gonna give you something to talk about around the water cooler, right? That's come and take it. It's come and take it day. Come and take it. It's funny, the little holiday, the place I go on the website to look for these holidays, these little weird holidays, they're just saying it's always October 6th. Come and take it day is a day for taking it, grab it, take it, run with it. It's going to be a great day. Slight difference between come and get it and come and take it. The first suggests offer, therefore approval, whatever it is. That's really not, I think they're candy coating this one. That's why I gave you the story behind come and take it. You may have seen this flag. This is a lot of the folks, the 3%ers, or again, skirting away from the politics of this. Battle of Gonzales, which was the first fight in the Texas Revolution of 1835 with Texas, the war with Mexico, when Texas got its independence. The long and the short of this is when Mexico was setting up its world, when it had its territory, when Texas was part of Mexico, they were trying to protect their towns, and they gave a cannon to this town in Texas called Gonzales. And when the war broke out between Texas and Mexico, the Mexican government said, hey, give us our cannon back. And because Texas was at war with Mexico, they're like, we're not giving your cannon back. And they're like, yeah, come. No, we gave you that cannon. Give us back. You can't keep it. It's ours. And they said, obviously, come and take it. So this is happened in 1835. That happened. It's a famous flag. You've seen it everywhere. Yeah, so a little bit more. You can read a little bit more about it. They got a picture of the actual flag. I'm not sure how long the battle lasted. Let's see if I can see in here. Not sure. Could be 4 days. So if it went from the 2nd to the 6th, that would make sense. Why we're celebrating it on the 6th, but started on October 2nd. Always celebrate this day on the 6th of October. If you need something to talk about today, you can talk about Come and Take It Day. Come and Take It Day, talking about the Battle of Gonzales, when the Texas and Mexican War, when Texas declared its independence, became a republic, and kept their cannon for a little while. I'm pretty sure the Mexican government came and got it back. So anyways, that's what you got to talk about today. That's what's going on today. Hopefully you guys are well on your way this week. Hopefully you got good things going on. Hopefully you're getting the things done you want to get done. I'm going to tell you, take care of your friends, your family, your coworkers. Take care of your organization. Take care of each other. Use this news, hopefully in a good way. Hopefully it's going to help you get started on your day. I didn't see either of the Bravos here this morning, Mike or Sierra, but I'm going to say for them, go get some today. Go make good things happen today. Got almost 24 hours, about 23 hours till we're here again tomorrow morning. If you can, obviously like, subscribe, hit the bell to be notified, share it with your friends. That would be great if you got security folks out there that want to talk about this. It will be available later today on audio only on the podcast world. If you want to point people to that. That's coming along slowly. People are pulling it down, listening to it on the go, I guess. But that's what we're talking about. I'd love to see you guys comment below. Hear what you got to say about things. Got a weird bit of light coming in right there. So, anyways, go out there, make something good happen today, and we'll see you tomorrow.